Hello, hobby friends, and welcome to today's episode of Hobby Talk. My name is David Baez. Today, we welcome back rippingvintagepacks.com founder Kurt Christensen to talk to us about pack ripping and the ever-growing popularity of live breaks. Kurt, welcome back to Hobby Talk. What's up, buddy?
Hey, David. Thanks again, man. Doing great again. So another great week on the farm. So things are winding down during harvest, and what's better than talking about cards?
All right, first question. Did the Fleer pop up or did the Donruss pop up?
I'm still voting for the Fleer, so we'll have to wait a few more months.
All right, I'm anxious. I'm ready to buy. So I wanted to dive specifically today into the world of live breaks and I wanted to kind of like start off if you can give us a little bit of a history behind Ripping Vintage Packs live breaks, when it started and how it's evolved, to current day.
Yeah, I actually was thinking about that, and we've actually been doing it for over 3 years. We're right at 3 years, and yes, how it started. The whole pack break thing really was not much of anything, to be honest with you. We were at the National in Chicago in 2017, and at that time, I was already active in the Facebook groups, and were really approached by a couple of collectors that saw some of our inventory at the show and just, had suggested, would I consider doing, some box breaks or something? And I says, yeah, I'll consider it. Harvest time comes up, but we get through harvest in 2017, and my friend Mickey Davis runs a great Facebook page. I approached Mickey with the idea. I says, man, I got 80s boxes. I says, some of your people in the group have asked if we can live break a box. And he says, let's go for it. So I think the first one we did was a 92 Bowman baseball box. And it was as simple as we went into Mickey's Facebook group. I don't even know. It could have been probably, $3 a pack. And we sold out 36 packs. My friend Brandon and me went down to Brandon's basement, sat on the couch, hooked up the old Android phone, and just lived it from a phone in his basement. I mean, it was as
Cool is
low and simple as that.
Yeah. And then now fast forward, right? Like you're, to current day. It's been a fun ride, I imagine, huh?
It's been a fun ride and a changing ride. And, of course, today when you look at pack breaks, there's a couple, I would say major corporate type companies that, are in them and doing them, for big time business. Advertise, busting rare packs, 60s, 70s, all sorts of stuff. That has never been what I'm about. Never something that I'm going to be about. So I try to steer away to what I view it as. And when I go back to the first couple breaks we did way back when, to me, it's always been about the enjoyment of a community of guys talking cards. And the question gets asked all the time, why would somebody pay me or somebody else to open a pack of baseball cards for them? I mean, what?
Right.
And it's it's an honest question. And I think the answer is, the guys that are breaking with me, I like to think, we're more collectors. We're hobbyists, and we're not into it for the gambling mentality or let's try to strike it rich on something. We like the conversation. We like to make fun of guys when their 82 Donruss pack comes up and, there's nothing in it.
Right.
We like,
I've been there.
We like to, yeah, definitely. And when the hits come out, we celebrate it. But
Yeah.
I think that's the big difference with what I do compared to some of these full-time corporate breakers is, we really try to steer to the collector and the hobbyist. And you're never going to see me advertising, well, come break this 78 baseball pack with me because a PSA 10 Eddie Murray's worth so much money. That ain't happening. And guys that advertise like that, I mean, I think they're really doing a disservice.
Yeah, I know we touched on a little bit in the first interview, Kurt, but I think it's worth mentioning again that I really commend, the way you found that fine line, of understanding depleting supply on certain product and also understanding how much fun it is for, folks that want to see product being ripped live. And you continue to evolve with the market too, because, maybe what you were ripping 3 years ago was plentiful, and fast forward to now and you're seeing, wow, all right, I'm having a real hard time finding this product. Maybe I should scale back on it. So I've always, and you see, I always go on, even if I'm not buying, I'll always go on for a little bit and watch, your breaks whenever I have a chance. I always love the fact that you've done a great job with the breaks, and you've also done a great job with the products that you're using for those breaks.
So yeah, I appreciate that. And to kind of, steer you from your question there, how is this whole thing, transitioned from the basement at my friend Brandon's house to, his card shop now with, multiple cameras and, an entire website, that was just grassroots. It was a demand that was there for the breaks that, I felt like guys that were with us were going to stay, and that the need was there, and that it was just my way of trying to offer a better product for the people to enjoy the break.
Yeah.
I started to realize early on that the people that are with me and what I was trying to do, I'm not trying to feed into the gambling mentality. Let's pull a PSA 10 George Brett.
Yeah.
Rookie, because that ain't happening.
Yeah.
I started realizing that guys are doing this because they're just like me, and they want to talk cards and they want to enjoy the company. So so it's involved to at the card shop with better computers, better screens, better technology, just to give everybody a better product available to enjoy that night.
Yeah. A better experience. Absolutely. Yeah. You've done a great job with that. So speaking about like current day break, your breaks, typically how long does a live pack break run for you?
I would say pre-COVID. So we'll go flash forward to February, January, and I would say from the time we started, 3 years ago, most of those breaks we were breaking one box, and it'd be half hour, 40 minutes, and you're done. We kind of trickled up from there, but for probably a year and a half, 2 years, most of our breaks were hour and a half, 2 hour breaks. We'd break a box, a few pack orders for guys. I would say that stayed pretty consistent through pre-COVID, maybe 2 hours here or there, but in that hour and a half, 2 hour range. COVID time now. I would say since, March. So what's that, March? The last 6 months, I'm ranging anywhere from, I would say most every break is 4 hours, and some are 5.5 hours.
Wow.
So, significantly longer. Some of that is due to some, the social distance guidelines. Some of my help, Wayne and Brandon haven't been around.
Yeah.
So that has played into it a little bit, but, there's definitely been an uptick, no doubt.
During you're touching on the whole COVID piece. I vividly remember during let's call it that real peak window, when it was just really starting to hit us in the States like a bomb. Let's call it April timeframe.
Yeah.
That you adjusted quite nicely. I mean, I saw that you were kind of a one-man show. I know normally you have your support there helping you out, and you were just there. You're like, guys, give me 1 second. You're running to grab the box. You're coming back to the camera. You do it, and man, I think that was just awesome, because all of us that are into sports, we had no sports around. Entertainment was extremely limited. You see the uptick in the interest in the hobby, and for those that were always in the hobby, we had another layer of interest on top of it because of all that. So the demand, it was like a frenzy, like to call you and say, hey, Kurt, when are you doing your next break? Can you do a couple packs live for me? And you handled it really well, is my point. So nice job during those rough weeks, because we were bombarding you.
Yeah. I was not, I certainly was not expecting that. When COVID, when we really realized that it was going to hit us, and become an issue that we had to deal with, that was probably March range. And my philosophy then was, nobody knew what was going to happen with the market. We had no idea. I think those first 3-4 weeks of COVID, and I'm fortunate enough that I'm sitting on a lot of product. But the first 3-4 weeks of COVID, I approached it like, just like that, guys, let's come together once a week. I says, I got a lot of cheap product, 87 Donruss rack cases, 87 Fleer rack cases, that I've been sitting on for years. And I remember cutting prices like crazy. I mean, I think was selling 87 Fleer racks for, $1.50 a rack. I was trying to get guys onto, the YouTube page just to give people something to do, because everybody was barricading their house. And whether I'm selling Fleer racks for $1 or $2 or not, it didn't make any difference to me. I needed that distraction myself. I was dealing with a lot of uncertainty on the farm. It was big decisions being made that you didn't know how to make, and I needed a car distraction as much as anybody. So I approached it that way, and I think that gained a lot of followers that wouldn't have normally found me.
You navigated those waters very well, my friend. And it's evident now too, because I log in and I see bigger base, longer times, and it's great. So I wanted to ask you about the most popular items collectors are purchasing for your live breaks. What is it? It's going to be a two-part question here. So what are they now? And maybe kind of what were they, maybe toward the beginning, and has anything changed, or, just a little bit of a 101 in terms of popularity on product?
Yep. I would say most popular products consistently are 80s hockey products, which you might not think of. But when you dive into it, let's say 80s hockey is still relatively affordable.
Mm-hmm.
You have smaller sets, and you got Gretzky everywhere, so you just have a lot better shots of getting somebody noteworthy. So 80s hockey is incredibly popular, and the other thing that seems like has always been popular for me going back years is, it can even be low end, but is O-Pee-Chee baseball.
Yeah, the O-Pee-Chee product, it's been quite undervalued relative to supply. So I could see maybe the lure, because it's just a good value, and you're getting some awesome cards in a lot of those sets, and some star rookies in a lot of them as well. I've
had that opinion for years, and I mean, I've got waist deep buying O-Pee-Chee baseball for years. So that's a product, even now, as some of that has run up on, I'm able to keep my prices pretty low on that stuff. So O-Pee-Chee baseball is popular, hockey's popular. To answer your question, then, how has some others popular stuff, kind of evolved? It's, probably going to seem pretty simple, but I'll give you one example. Like, 89 score football, great product, tons of Hall of Fame rookies, Aikman and Barry and Irvin and Brown, the list is endless. Well, up until pre-COVID, those things were, for $12, $15 a pack.
Yeah.
I mean, you had all, shots at, everybody, and it would sell like crazy. Well, now we know what 89 score football was. And now I think instead of a $15 pack, that's a $45 pack. And,
easy.
You still have the big hits, and the cards are worth more, but it doesn't sell like it did when it was $15 a pack.
Right.
And it makes sense. I get it, because, it's at a price point now that is higher, and I can go down a whole list of products like that.
Yeah. Even some of the stuff that I tend to gravitate to, like the early to mid 80s, I'm starting to see a bit of a downtick on the interest of ripping those, because of the same reason. I think, those ever increasing prices of the unopened product, plus the increasing prices on the stars in there. I think some people who have it are kind of holding on to it right now. But so let me ask you, in terms of big hits, in your live breaks, can you share a couple of awesome stories there of some really good hits?
So I got a great one, and I'm a little disappointed saying it, because of all the live breaks we've had, for 3 years, I think I've missed one break. Literally, I've missed one break where Brandon and Wayne ran the break for me. And this is the break that I missed.
Of course.
Go figure. Maybe I just shouldn't be around it.
Yeah.
Everything good comes out. But anyways, we were Christmas time 2018, and we had done a Christmas special break, which we do every year, give away a ton of product, customer appreciation type deal. And we did our Christmas break. It was fine and dandy. We had so much interest though, and we had so many other orders. Like we ran up to like midnight. We're like, guys, we're just done. We got to shut this down. We'll come back and finish it tomorrow. Well, I don't know what I had going on, but I couldn't make tomorrow. And Brandon and Wayne did it. Well, during that break, all of a sudden my phone's just blowing up. I'm getting calls, I'm getting texts, all this stuff. And I'm looking at it, and it's like, well, did you see what was pulled? Check out this. And what was pulled was we had sold an 80 Topps baseball cello pack, and about 5 cards in was a dead centered blazing Ricky Henderson rookie.
Whoa. That is awesome.
I have the video up somewhere. And to go to the end of the story is the card is now sitting in an SGC 9.5 slab.
I was going to say minimum 9. Minimum. That's a great story. That's awesome.
Made its way into a 9.5 slab. Guy that pulled it is a diehard collector, and I'll just say, that's probably the last card that will ever leave his collection.
Yeah, that's great. See, and that's what all this is about. You were saying before, the live breaks, going into the hands of collectors. They keep their cards, and it makes a great story. 10 years from now, when they're talking about that card, it's not just the Ricky card and what Ricky meant to that collector, but it's also how they got the card and the whole the whole thing with your awesome live breaks. So that's great. I love to hear those type of success stories.
The other thing that was quite fun was, this was probably a little while after that, and where we had still a generalized following, but we had just got onto the YouTube page. We moved from the basement on the phone to YouTube, and I don't spend any dollars in advertising. Not going to do it. It's not not my deal. This is a grassroots deal, and it'll be what it is, or it'll not be what it is. But we were just getting into our following a little bit, and at that time I had acquired 78, 79, and 81 basketball boxes. Stuff wasn't very popular then. They were probably $500 boxes, and now they're $3,000 boxes.
Yeah, they've exploded. Yep.
We had a couple guys that, got into those packs, and the first couple cards that were coming out were really clean, really centered, really nice. And we were pulling out Dr. J's, Pete Maravich's, and pretty soon what happened was we were getting flooded with orders from guys I do not know who they are, guys who were watching, but I don't know. And pretty soon we basically sold out all the boxes. And I put more high-grade stars and slabs from those 3 boxes than I've ever seen. I've got pictures of 9s, 9 5s, 10s, wow. Dr. J's, Pete Maravich's, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's. I mean, it was just an unbelievable run of those boxes just being centered, and it was just an amazing occasion to witness. And that was back when those packs might have been $20 a pack. I mean, it was worth much then.
I was going to say too, that on your site, one of the things I like that you have on your site is kind of like that. And if I'm wrong in describing it, please correct me, but it's kind of like a Hall of Fame page where those items that people end up getting from your rips, or, that they purchase, end up making this Hall of Fame on your page. And then, it's basically just sharing the successes from the rips. So I think that's really cool that you do that, by the way. And I'll put a link, if you don't mind, on the
go for it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think, as a matter of fact, I'm going to need to, not to commandeer this interview, but I want to share with you. You may or may not know this, but a while back I bought a 78 Topps cello box from you, and I ended up opening up that cello box and sending 23 of the 24 cellos to PSA, because I've just always been a fan of the individually encapsulated. So I opened up the box, sent them. I ended up getting like 2 8s, like 17 or 18 9s, and 3 dimes.
Oh wow!
So I'm going to share with you those dimes at least.
I'd love to see them. We'll look them up. But it's just kind of a unique feature. like I said, I keep referring to this. The collectors at heart understand you're not opening an 87 basketball pack and all 15 cards are getting in 10 slaps. I just, collectors understand that.
Yeah.
And understand how hard it is to pull a mint or a gym mint card, but also understand that at some point, every card in the 10 came from a pack somewhere. So it obviously happens, but it's just a way that, I think, guys like to, show off what they hit. And I like to put it up there, for two folds. I'm not advertising where we're pulling, I'm not saying, never going to say we're pulling Jim Mint, Ricky's or Eddie's or something, but I think it's just a nice way for guys who might be looking at buying or might, have questions, just to understand the type of stuff that we open.
Yeah.
What you can expect to find and what you cannot expect to find.
Yeah.
You're not seeing 67 tops mantle in there.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit now about, like where do you see, I guess, the future of live breaks, right? Where do you see live breaks going now? Let's call it 1 year, 2 years, 3 years down the road from where it is current day. What's the evolution in your eyes?
Yep, I got my opinion. I'll start with my opinion has been for about 3 years that I never know if there's going to be a break the next week. I never thought I would be sitting here 3 years down the road and I would be doing what I am. So I didn't know this thing would explode the way it has and it would have this lasting effect. So this, I don't know what's going to be 6 months down the road, but I will say this. I think for the collector type mentality, there's going to be breaks, and I think it's going to be something that's evolving and growing. I think you're going to see the other high-end type stuff dwindle away. I just don't think there's enough people willing to throw those kind of dollars at ultra rare stuff with zero success rate.
Right.
But as far as what I do, I always try to evolve as well. Lately, we've been doing a ton of 90s basketball boxes, getting into the early 2000s with some golf, some football.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And for the people looking for a group of collectors, trying to break a box together with, of course, we're hoping for big hits, but we know it's not going to happen as always. I don't think you're going to see those things go away anytime soon. There's a demand, and I think people really like that weekly escape, the weekly community of just talking and shredding cards.
Yeah. How about in the non-sports world, Kurt? I know you dabble a lot with that. Is that becoming an element of your breaks? Has it, and will it continue, in your opinion?
I have added some stuff to my breaks. The tricky thing with non-sports is you have to be able to differentiate the brands that are just guys just want the packs because they're cool, like maybe 87 Elf. It's just cool to have an Elf box. But nobody really wants the cards. To where is the fine line of what do people want from the cards? And Star Wars.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Masters of the Universe, popular. X-Men type stuff, incredibly popular.
Yeah.
And yes, so the answer to your question is yes. I think you're going to continue to see a little bit of uptick of people in that regards.
Yeah.
And I'm always looking for product that I think has value for the cards that are being opened. And that X-Men, that Star Wars, that type of stuff, I think is going to continue to be very popular.
I would think too, like Garbage Pail Kids, right? I think that's a rather popular non-sport, right? I could see that being something that folks would maybe. Again, I'm not very well versed on price, so that might perhaps maybe some of the early edition might fall under that like don't rip category.
Well, that's what's happened to early edition. That product went from, I say, probably like first edition Garbage Pail. I'd say it went from 150 a pack to 500.
Whoa, yeah, that's definitely untouchable
So,
right
but the
there.
good thing with garbage pails is there's 16 series. And,
Yeah,
you are right. That is one that is popular.
yeah,
But there's definitely been more collectors getting into that area of the hobby. So, yeah, I have continued to expand in that regard and probably still will. And I throw some of these other sports in the non-sport as well, like wrestling. Like
right.
87 wrestling and 85 wrestling is incredibly popular now.
Yeah,
And those
that spiked
cards,
in price too, hasn't it? Yeah,
and the cards are worth a mint. And it's at a price point that still seems reasonable to open them. So we've done a lot of wrestling.
mm,
Um, like I said, we've dabbled in a little golf.
mhm.
I think there's some areas that, yeah, will definitely show interest.
Yeah, yeah. Look, for me personally, I've never really dabbled too much in the non-sports, but I won't deny that, especially during COVID era, I've been keeping my eye on, certain. I've even purchased, some unopened that traditionally I wouldn't. But I think maybe it's just the time, having a little extra time. I started kind of diving into the history of it, remembering, maybe, like the old Marvel, stickers and stuff like that. And it's just the connection there. And I was like, I'm going to start buying these. These look really cool. So, yeah, I do see some popularity increase, which of course comes with some price increase. But I could totally see why, there would be with Garbage Pail and with wrestling and with some of these others, some interest in the live breaks as well.
Yeah, for probably the last, well, really probably since COVID, maybe when I started it, but I have a Star Wars mixer product as well as a mixer that has some early first edition Marvel cards in it.
Cool.
It's
Very cool.
incredibly popular. It's cheap. We break it every week, and the cards they're really cool.
I might have to join in on that. So, Kurt, how does a collector go about buying product for your breaks? And when do you typically run your live breaks right now?
Right now, it's standard practice for us to be running breaks every Thursday.
There we go.
Usually join on in that 7 p.m. Central time zone. Sometimes during the farm, I got to move a break here or there on a day, but it's typically every Thursday. And it's easy place to go and look is right at the website that you got scrolling around the bottom of the screen, rippingvintagepacks.com. If you click on the menu tab, there's a live breaks button. You hit the live breaks button, and the inventory is, I think there's 15 pages of inventory.
Great. In terms of the updates to your inventory, you're pretty much, again, I've from what I see, because I've been on there quite a bit, routinely updated.
I would say every weekend. So the break hits Thursday.
Yeah.
Usually Friday, Saturday, I'm in some shipping, mode type stuff, getting stuff
Yeah.
out the door. And late Saturday or Sunday, I update the website,
Yeah.
get new feature in, new inventories. And come Monday morning, I would say 95% of the days on Monday morning, everything is updated for the next week.
Awesome. So I'm keeping the tradition going. I know I got you on the first one, but I'm going to get you again if you're all right, if you're up for it. Got a little question for you, a little outside the box.
Okay.
All right. So what's the one product that you secretly love ripping on your own, but you're almost afraid to admit it to anybody?
A few people will know this answer, but
all right.
not many, because it's slightly embarrassing. But I like to open 2002 baseball that has products that contain Joe Mauer rookies.
Joe, is that the one where you just kind of hide in the corner, nobody's looking? You're like looking to the left, looking to the right,
making sure nobody's watching. So I'm a huge Twins fan.
Yeah. That's
love,
awesome.
Love Joe Mauer as a player. Have a pretty good card collection that a lot of my cards are pack pulled. I pulled some good ones. That's what I search eBay, private sales. I buy all kinds of 2002 baseball, and I'm looking for Joe Mauers.
Very cool. Yeah, mine, I don't know if it's embarrassing anymore, but I will tell you that a few years ago, I was definitely like, all right, let me do this. No one's around. 89 tops, like trying to just score some Smoltz, and Randy Johnson. Smoltz really. I have a stockpile of Smoltz rookies.
Hey, that stuff is, instead of $5 a box, it's $15 a box now.
Yeah, I guess I did all right. A few years ago, it was all hush hush, though, Kurt.
But yeah, it's a great product though. There's
Yeah.
big Smoltz or Andy Johnson. It's
Yeah.
fun stuff. So I hope for some of that with my kids too, because
Yeah.
we pull a Randy Johnson and it gets dropped. Well, no big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Awesome. Well, Kurt, I can't thank you enough for doing this. I appreciate you giving us some insight into the world of live breaks. Love to have you on again in the near future. We keep on talking. Like I said, we can talk for hours. So I love that we're kind of tackling one topic at a time here. So thanks again for joining Hobby Talk, and we'll talk soon.
So sounds good, David. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
Yep. We'll see you.
Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. Please click on the like and subscribe button. Just a couple quick updates. We are officially live on iTunes, Google, as well as Spotify for our podcast. Go to hobbynetworkgroup.com for more details and links. Thanks for watching today's video and have a great day. Bye.